friends, I'm Kyla and welcome back to the Infinite Library. So, you may remember, if you've been following my channel for a while now, that at the beginning of the year I did like a 30-ish or so most anticipated books that were coming out in 2024. I thought it'd be fun if I revisited that video and saw how many of them I'd actually read. I'm gonna bet, because I've been reading a lot of books that are actually from last year, that I've probably not read many of them. Let's find out together and see how many of the ones that I was super excited for I actually got around to reading in their release year, and maybe we'll make a little TBR perhaps for January of the ones that I didn't get to right my wrongs a little bit. So, gonna bring up the video and I'm just gonna scroll through it with you guys. We'll have a look together. I'll put a little tally down below here of like which ones I actually managed to read and which ones I haven't got to yet. I'm betting the number I haven't got to is going to be higher than the ones I have got to though. So let's find out. Right, here we go. Oh yeah, that was my old intro. It's pretty ugly. Oh, I was not looking great that day, was I? Wow. My hair is kind of the same colour though, if a little bit shorter at the moment. But yeah, you can tell this was before I got my new phone because the quality, oof. Right, let's get away from Kyla of the past and let's go to our first books. January. Okay. There we go. Ruthless Vows. I did read this one. So that's a 1 on the counter. I read this basically I think as soon as I got it. Loved it. It was a 5-star duology for me, this series. So getting off to a good start. It's actually a December release though, so I think I'm kind of cheating here to be honest. Oh, okay. Atlas Complex. I forgot this came out in January. I'm gonna count this because I am literally, as we are filming this video, about to start buddy reading this with my friend Jules. So at the very least, I'm going to be reading it before the end of the year. I'm hoping I won't DNF it, but we're both feeling a bit mixed about this one because the reviews have been bad. One I will be reading, so that's not too bad. We're getting off to a good start here. Oh, Troy Maguire's new book. I definitely haven't got to this one. I think I do own it though, because I've been trying to get hold of all her books so that I can basically just read them all at once. I have still only read the first book in this series, so I certainly haven't read, what is this, like the 9th or the 10th in the series or something? Moving on. Emily Wilde. Up at the Otherland. This is second Emily Wilde. I did indeed read this one. Really enjoyed it. Probably about as much as the first one, to be honest. Not bad. Yeah, I spoke about this one for a while, apparently. Oh, Most Ardently. Damn, this came out in January as well. Okay, I haven't read this yet, but I do own it. I actually bought it very recently at Yalk, so I am hopefully getting to this next year. A book that I have seen nothing about since it came out. This is The Longest Autumn by Amy Avery. What happened to this book? I'm gonna look it up. I'm kind of curious because it came out. Oh, it's not got great reviews. 3.21, only about 300 people have reviewed it. I am still interested in this one though. It's just a shame that it doesn't seem to have gotten a lot of fuss. Oh well, that's a shame. Moving on. Oh, Voyage of the Damned. I did read this. This is one of my favourite books of the year. Really loved it. Definitely did that one. Oh, Invocations is the next one. Okay, I also have read this, also fairly recently, because it was a Yalk author. Really enjoyed this one actually. Gave it a 5-star, so quite happy about that one. Then we are moving into February. Oh, is this the finale in this series? I still haven't finished the series off. I still haven't read the second book in this series, let alone the third. I don't think I even own the third book yet, but I do own the second book. So yeah, did not get to this one. Didn't think I was going to get to it anyway, to be honest, because I've not been keeping up with the series, but I am excited to get back to it. What is this? This is another book that I feel like I heard a lot about and then it just vanished into the ether. Dead things are closer than they appear. What happened to this one? I don't think I even remember seeing this in any shops. Did it even come out Yeah, it did. It came out. 4.0. Okay, so it's got actually quite a high rating. Again, not a lot of reviews though. Does anyone I know have read it? Oh, Francis has read it apparently and really liked it. Yeah, okay. Still one I want to check out then in that case. But yeah, one I've heard nothing about. Oh, Education and Malice came out this year? No. Because we had Evocation this year as well. What the fuck? So I haven't read Education and Malice yet, but I have read the book that came out, like, later on by St. Gibson, which is Evocation. I will get to Education and Malice soon, though, because I really enjoyed Daria Blood and Evocation, and, like, Education and Malice is a Carmilla retelling, so I'm all over that. But no, didn't get to it yet, unfortunately. Oh, there we go. I did put Evocation in here. Oh, did it come out in May? I could have sworn it was later. It was a book club box, I remember. Though I didn't get it from the book box, I ended up buying the Waterstone Special Edition. Okay, have read it though. So that is good. Then we have Tempest of Tea, which I do own, haven't read it yet, really want to read it, even though I feel like it's been getting bad reviews. Unfortunately, it didn't even make it into, like, the YA Fantasy Book Awards. Okay, is that the end of February? No, then we have My Throat an Open Grave by Tori Bobolino. I did read this, and I really enjoyed it. We have Remedial Magic by Melissa Ma. Did not read this. I don't think I've even seen very much about this around, to be honest. I think I'm still interested in it. I don't know. Is the same over Typh, which I think that whole series by her has been given like new dust jackets recently and like had a bit of a re-release, and I wonder if it's because of this. Moving on, Fathom Folk by Eliza Chan. Okay, I deliberately haven't read this one because I've just heard it wasn't great, unfortunately. I love the concept of it and all the art for it is pretty gorgeous, but I didn't hear it was good, so I've purposely not checked it out, but it might be one that I take out from the library one day just to see, but I'm not at the moment bothered about this one anymore. Oh, that's it for February, so on to March. Oh, see, this was the one I knew was going to be on here that I really remembered, and I just haven't got around to finding a copy of this, to be honest. This is a graphic novel. I'm still super interested in this. I'm still obsessed with this cover, so I definitely do want to get to this one at some point or another. Oh, Where Sleeping Girls Lie. Okay, I own this. I read like the first chapter or two because it was on Spotify, I believe, as like a preview before the book released, or like just as it released. Haven't read it yet though. I do really want to. I did intend to get to it this year because it sounds up my alley completely, but I just didn't, obviously. So yeah, sadly not one I got to, even though I had every intention. Oh wow. I did read this book. It was a book club book. No one really liked it. I have such high expectations for this book. It's a Frankenstein retelling, that it's queer. Didn't really like it, unfortunately. I do still own it because part of me kind of wants to revisit it at some point because there were some elements I really enjoyed about it, but overall this just wasn't good, unfortunately. Speaking of book club books, another book club book, funnily enough, literally just last month's book club book, Floating Hotel by Grace Curtis. This is a cozy sci-fi. I didn't realize it came out in March. I thought it was way later in the year. But yeah, I have read this. I did quite enjoy it. It was a 4-star, not like the 5-star I was hoping it to be, but I had a really good time with it. It's for March, apparently. Moving on into April. Oh, Otherworldly. So I feel very mixed about FT Lukens as a thing. I've only read one book by them, and I wasn't crazy on the romance. I read This Is Ever After, but then my friend has read In Deeper Waters, and I think she's also read This Is Ever After, and she says the writing gets so much better. So I do kind of still want to try this out. I believe this book is also like free at some point this month on Simon Team's website. So I'm tempted to give it a go. This cover is just everything, to be honest. Like, it is giving full wintry vibes. I love the cover. I still want to give it a try, though. Then, oh, this one's sad because this didn't end up getting released. This is a sequel to The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandan. It's her next book, A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. It has been pushed back until next year, unfortunately. So yeah, that hasn't come out, so no way I could have read it, and I'm very sad because I really want to read it. Then we have The Familiar by Lee Bardugo. I have read this one. I didn't love it. It was just kind of fine. Not one I have any sort of lasting feelings for, except that I really enjoy one of the characters who wasn't even one of the main characters. She was like the mistress of the main character, and I loved her character arc. But overall, didn't really like this book, unfortunately. To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods, this is the one that held controversy. I read this book. I actually really liked it. I'm looking forward to the sequel. Actually, quite like this one. Oh, Late Bloomer. I do own this book. I haven't read it yet, and it feels like it has to be a spring read now. So I'm not going to get to it this year, but I do really want to get to this. I'm hoping this is as cute as I want it to be, but romance is so hit and miss for me, so I really don't know. Then it is May and onwards. Basically, these were the ones that I didn't really have proper dates for, I think, because they were so squiffy towards the end of the year. Oh, The House That Horror Built. I did actually read this. I got a NetGalley arc for this, so I actually did read this early. Didn't really like it, unfortunately. It was okay. I really can't even... It has left, like, no impression on me. Yeah, unfortunately, didn't really enjoy it. Mirrored Heavens. This is the final book, I think, in this Earth and the Sky series by Rebecca Roan Horse. Haven't got to it yet. I still haven't read the second book. I've only read the first book in this series, which is Black Sun, which I loved. I will get back to the series, but it ain't going to be this year. Next, then, we have How to Make a Horror Movie and Survive by Craig DeLuey. I have not heard anyone talking about this. I'm kind of curious about that. I haven't read it, obviously, but I've also heard no one talking about it. So, let's have a quick look. There was a lot of, like, horror book themed things that came out. Oh, it does not have a great rating. 3.38. Only about 400 reviews. No one I know has read it. Like, all these other ones here also came out this year, like Horror Movie, I Was a Teenage Slasher. Like, so many horror movie themed stuff came out, and then this one I think just flew under the radar, and maybe it just isn't good. I don't know. Mistress of Lies. This I do own because it came in a book subscription box. Have I read it yet? No. I am excited to read this though. This I think is like a poly vampire kind of thing, and it's got trans representation, which I always love, so I am really excited to get to this. I'm just hoping I love it. Spell Shop. I meant to read this back in September for Magical Readathon, and I did not have time. I do own it, however, so I will get to it. I think everyone I've heard that's read this have loved it. I am excited to get to it, but not one I've had time to get to. The Critical Role book. This, I think this had a later release date, you know, because I've only seen it once in an actual shop, and that was last week. So I feel this got pushed back. I haven't read it, obviously, yet, but I will get it, and I do really want to read it because it's Cassandra Core, and although her first book was bad, I loved her second book. Also, this is my favourite character in this particular D&D campaign, so yeah, we'll get to it. Haven't heard anyone talk about it, which doesn't surprise me because Critical Role is niche. Oh, okay. God, this was back when there wasn't even a cover for this book. The Pairing. I DNF'd this one. I got a NetGalley arc for it. No, thankfully, I wasn't one of those people who got the infamous promo boxes where you got sex toys. I just got an e-arc and I ended up DNFing this. It actually kind of triggered me because of some of the themes that they had going on in here in terms of jealousy, in terms of breakups in a relationship. So I really didn't enjoy it, and I had to actually drop it because it was actually getting me like really bad emotionally. It was nominated in the Goodreads romance category, I know, but it didn't make it to the top 10, which doesn't surprise me. But yeah, read half of it, then DNF'd it. I'm going to count it as a read. The New Tea Kingfisher, A Sorceress Comes to Call. I haven't read this one yet. Do still want to, but it won't be soon. I have like a backlog of Tea Kingfisher I kind of want to get to first, to be honest. Oh, those sweet summer child days of thinking that Heavenly Tyrant was going to come out in September. This is coming out, I believe, in the end of December, so it isn't even released yet. I have, however, pre-ordered it from Waterstone, so I will be getting it. I will likely be reading it as soon as I get it, because I cannot wait to find out what happens. I am so invested in this series and these characters. Obviously not actually out yet. Dark and Drowning Tide by Alison Saft. I do own this. I haven't read it yet, however. It it was in a Lumicrypt book, I believe. But yeah, haven't got around to reading it yet, but I would like to soon. Oh, well, now we're getting on to the really iffy ones where there's not even covers. Crimson Crown by Heather Walter. I actually do own this. I picked this up at Yalk. This is a dark Snow White retelling where we're following the evil queen. This author has already done like a Maleficent series with Malice and Mistral, which I quite liked. So I picked this up, but I haven't obviously got around to reading it yet. Likely next year. Untitled Madeline Miller books. I don't think any of these came out. I think I would have heard about it if they had done, because she's obviously got a lot of hype. Small Beyond the Sea, this did come out. I haven't got to it yet, because I haven't even read the first book in this series. But I do want to get to it. And that is it. That is all the books. You know what? I think I actually did better than I thought I was going to. That's kind of a surprise. Yeah, I'm not mad about that. I think I did okay. Here is the final tally, I guess, of how many books I did read. And here is the final tally of the books I still haven't read. What would be good for a TBR for this? There's definitely a lot that I really do want to still get to. I'm going to think on it, but I know Most Ardently is pretty high up there of ones I want to get to. The romance with the flower shop kind of thing I really want to get to. Where Sleeping Girls Lie, I do really want to get to that. Any others that I'm really hyped about? Spell Shop, I do regret not getting to Spell Shop. And yeah, I think those are the ones that I still I'm the most hyped about. I still want to read all of these, I think, apart from Fathom Folk. Yeah, I guess hopefully I'll get to those books next year, but I don't think I did too bad. To say I really wasn't focusing on reading new releases. Right, that is it from me. Just a short little quick sit down video. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if there's any books that I didn't get to that you're like, you really should get to, or maybe I shouldn't get to. If there's some that actually weren't that good, because I don't know. As always, until next time, stay safe, stay cozy, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!